Ja, nicht speziell. Okay, so nahe heran. Hier beim Let's Play von Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Spirit of Justice. Wir haben beim letzten Mal die Gerichtsverhandlung angefangen und stecken jetzt immer noch in den Insights von Rafer. Und das ist alles wieder, naja. Wir haben viel Neues gelernt über die guten Insights und natürlich hat sich jetzt auch wieder was getan in der Vision und auch in der Aussage, in der Interpretation. Aha! Wer das jetzt gesehen hat, Bells hat sich zu Wasser umgewandelt. Und genau darauf müssen wir jetzt hinweisen bei der Sache. He rushed the accused and tried to fight her off by the broken lantern. Woher kommt dann jetzt hier das Wasser? Hold it! How do we know the purification rite was performed exactly as it was supposed to be? That's easy. The customs governing the rite are very clear and about me would add hurt to them. Well, that's strange. Mr. Wright, would you care to explain just what is so strange? Yes, I would ask you to consider the sound of the victim's footsteps. The sound of bells changes to the sound of water at one point. What's this? It's simple. The victim must have stepped in some water. Oh. Yes, and the only source of water in the inner sanctum is the spring. And therein lies the contradiction. What contradiction? I believe the rite started out as it should have. The victim stood in with his back to the spring, and the accused stood right in front of him. But we now know that the victim then moved into the spring. Paul Concord, that is absurd! This means the accused's location differs from what her benevolence insight indicates. Then why do you propose the accused stood once she donned Lady Kira's robes? Based on the sound of the victim's footsteps, I believe Maya was standing here. Im Brunnen. Until this moment, we've all just assumed that Ubotamy and Miss Fay were standing where they were supposed to be, as shown in this Wright's guide. In short, the victim should have been standing with his back to the spring and the accused in front. However, if that is how they were really standing, he could have stepped into the spring as he approached her. The problem is, the victim did step into the spring. This can only mean that Miss Fay had actually been standing in the water. What if it's true that their positions would have been completely reversed? What is going on here, Miss Fay? Why are you really standing in the spring? I'm sorry, but I barely remember anything about the rite. The High Priest would never make such an obvious blunder during a rite. What on earth? It isn't impossible! Be that as it may, this does not overturn my insights. It doesn't? Let us say the accused was standing in the spring. So what? So what? This completely reverses their positions is what? That their positions differed from what is customary is rather curious. However, what does that change? It certainly does not erase the accused's brutal crime. I guess you have a point there. Phoenix! You lawyers are an absurd breed. Never thinking ahead, you clinch to the first insignificant contradiction you can muster. Ugh. Sounds like Princess Raper has a pretty good grasp on what lawyers are all about. Oh Maya, where would I be without your brutally frank commentary right now? Is this contradiction really meaningless? But something really does not feel right. Did I take a wrong turn somewhere? I will now amend my insight to account for this new truth. Okay, dann zeig mal her. He rushed the accused and tried to fight her off by the poolside lantern. Now the contradiction is no more. But the truth of the matter still stands, no matter how stubbornly you deny it. What do you have to say for yourself now, Mr. Wright? Nick! Your Majesty, this lawyer may have raised a trivial objection, but her benevolence insights have no further inadequacies of any kind. Yes, so it would seem. Wait a second, but there is another contradiction! Isingma, let it go. Still you flounder about, wretched beast. Though you wreck that putrid brain of yours, nothing worthwhile will come of it. Maya, please tell me you remember something that might help us there. Sorry, I really don't remember a thing. But now that the place I was standing in has changed, who knows? That alone may cause a new discrepancy with Princess Raper's insights. That's right, we now know that Maya was standing in the spring. A major change like that could very well produce a contradiction. I should take another look at the inner sanctum diagram in the court record, and confirm where Maya and the button me were standing. And then focus on finding any discrepancies between their positions and the insides. Natürlich bleiben wir wieder bei der dritten Sache, die sich mal wieder geändert hat. Soweit ändert sich nichts. So, gucken wir uns das an. Wusch. Was ist hier so komisch? Nun. Die Lampe. Guckt euch diese Lampe an. Guckt sie euch an. Guckt sie euch an. Your benevolence, I found a new contradiction. You did? No doubt this is but another of your vile attempts to slander my insides. Nope, take a good look at what the victim saw. It just might change your mind. The lantern flame behind the accused was flickering. There is nothing unusual about that, especially as the wind had stirred. No, that's why you were wrong. If the accused had been standing in the spring, then what you see here should be one of the lanterns flanking the statue. I fail to see your point. My point is something is wrong here. The two lanterns flanking the statue were both outfitted with glass wind guards. So neither lantern's flame should have been flickering in the wind in the first place. She seems pretty tickled, Nick. I don't remember saying anything funny. I fail to see your wish to prove here, but very well. I shall refine the vision and reveal the truth for all to see. Oh, blessed Mitama, I beseech you, fix your sight upon the lantern there. Huh? That lantern doesn't have a wind guard on it. And rightly so. For the wind guard was removed to reveal the sacred flame within or the rite of fire. Therefore, there is nothing odd about the flame flickering. Say what?! But when we searched the crime scene, those lanterns had their wind guards on! That's because the police put them back on. The sacred flames have burned uninterrupted for hundreds of years, Defense. We could not risk them being extinguished even during an investigation. That would never fly back home! Ja, toll! Also haben die selber am Tatort rumgeflamed, nur wegen ihrer Religion. Richtig geil, danke! Well, Bartat, are you done quibbling? If so, then it is time to bow down before this testimony of the Mitama. Ah! Nick! Don't worry, Maya, I'm just getting started. Alright, let's go over everything we know so far. Maya was wearing Lady Kira's robe and standing in the spring. The high priest is thought to have been moving toward her, so I should look for sensations that stand in contradiction to this arrangement. I won't give up! I'm going to find a contradiction that will undermine the accusation against Maya. Okay. 1, 2. Wir bleiben mal wieder bei dieser Sache, von wegen, dass Maya sonst wo stand. Zack. No. Das nächste, was uns auffällt. Einfach mal hier zum einfachen Verständnis. Bei der Poolside sieht das so aus. Aber hier... Aha! Seht ihr das? Wenn man sich nämlich erinnert, bei der Seite, wo Maya für gewöhnlich stehen sollte, da ist die rechte Lampe kaputt. Genau so wie hier. What could this possibly mean? That lantern clearly contradicts the inside. But this contradiction will overturn the entire case I've been building. Are you alright, Mr. Wright? 1 minute you shout out and in the next you fall silent. Perhaps it is like the bellow of one of us barely down a hill with no way of stopping. Is that not right, Prosecutor Satmadi? Don't get cold feet now, Phoenix. Even if it overturns the entire case you've built so far, the only way is to keep moving forward, because that's where we'll find the truth. Sorry, but I'm not barely down a hill. In fact, I'm in full control of everything with the indisputable contradiction I found. Is that so? The lantern behind the accused clearly, no, blatantly contradicts your insight. Does it now? One of the lanterns on the entrance side of the inner sanctum was broken. And if you watch what the bottom me saw in his final moments, you will notice that the lantern behind the praying form of Miss Fey is broken. The lantern behind Lady Kira, however, is still intact. In short, we are seeing two different lanterns in this seance vision. How could this be? And even if it were so, how would that contradict my insights? Let me start by saying the claim I'm about to raise will overturn the case I've built thus far. Will the defense please explain himself? Based on the broken lantern, we can tell... Können wir die Position von Maya und Abateme ausmachen? Where the accused and the victim were standing. But did you not just finish asserting that the accused was standing somewhere else? I did, and I built my argument on that faulty premise. Ich nehm's jetzt zurück, but thankfully it has led us here. To the actual spot where Maya Fey was standing. Whoa! I must say, if the defense keeps changing its assertion in such a capricious manner, its credibility may come into question. I'm willing to take that risk, Your Majesty, because I believe this will be the last time. I'd like to start by pointing out the actual spot where the accused was standing. Very well. Show us where you now believe the accused was actually standing. Based on the location of the broken lantern, where was Maya really standing? Maya stand dann... lass mich die richtige Position bitte behalten. So, bitte, danke. Genau hier. I wasn't thinking straight before, but now it's all falling into place. We know that the victim had stepped into the spring. That means Maya Fey had to have been standing in the water as he approached. However, this memory, which has only now become clear, reveals that Miss Fey was standing by the side of the broken lantern. In other words, she was standing where she was supposed to be according to custom. Does that not bring us back to the very beginning? No. This is where things take a different turn, and I mean that literally. The victim had to have been moving toward the spring. That means that while he was moving, he had his back turned toward the accused. What's this? Do you mean to say the victim turned around during the rite? But such an image appears nowhere in the seance vision. Actually, it does appear. It's just that no one noticed until now. No one noticed? How could no one have noticed something so big? There was a moment when the scripture the victim was holding was all we could see. Thanks to that, none of us could tell that he was, in fact, turning around in that moment. If it is as the defense asserts, then her benevolence insights no longer make sense. How do you intend to explain that? I don't need to explain anything, because it's just as you said, Prosecutor Satmari. Her benevolence insights don't make any sense because they contain a huge error. Such insolence! Entschuldigung, dass ich dich beleidigen muss, aber verdient! A huge error, you say? Do explain. The huge error is... Wright's crime scene? Natürlich die Anzahl der Personen. Aha, aha, aha. I believe this is what happened at the scene of the crime. The victim was reading a sutra when suddenly he sensed someone behind him. He immediately looked back to see someone dressed as Lady Kira standing there. Wishing to see who it was, he approached the robed figure. That's when he was stabbed. This cannot be. Oh, but it can! And it is. The insight stating the accused stabbed the victim is wrong. And that is the real truth behind this testimony of the dead. Pokunka! Are you suggesting that there was somewhere else at the scene of the crime? Have I misunderstood? The voice of the Mitama yet again? This cannot be! Drama queen! You! That was a close one. But I managed to divine the true meaning behind the seance vision somehow. Gott sei Dank. I should add these new facts to the court record. Das wäre eine gute Idee. Zack. Your benevolence, please allow me to take it from here. I will overturn the brash accusation of this faithless, putrid-minded lawyer. Yes, I shall place my trust in you. Are you sure about this, Prosecutor Satmadi? My work as an international prosecutor has taken me to courtrooms around the world. And in that time, I have learned to perform last rites for souls in trials lacking a seance. Yes, of course. Forgive my ludicrous inquiry. Moreover, I have with me a forensic investigator from overseas. I will show you all the most magnificent last rites ever seen. I guess he really does think highly of Emma and her forensic expertise. I'm impressed that he's come to understand their value. Then again, he is an international prosecutor who solved tough cases around the world. Time to hunker down, huh? No, then, let us continue with today's proceedings. Could the defense please tell us who the third party dressed as Lady Kira was? Your new claim has negated the insights of the royal priestess. So I trust you have some evidence to support it, correct? Yes, of course. This third party must have really wanted to kill the high priest. I might be able to identify who it was if I had evidence of their murderous intent. Well, we're waiting, Mr. Wright. The evidence that can reveal the identity of the third party is this. Wir erinnern uns. Der gute Hohepriester wurde ja schließlich vom Rebellenjäger Lady Kira bedroht. 3 days before the purification rite, the victim received a warning letter from an unidentified individual. He did? Whoever sent it clearly meant to threaten the high priest. The letter said, "Do not perform the rite." But the rite went on as scheduled. I believe that is why the high priest was murdered. Who do you suppose sent that letter? A person with something to hide. The rebel hunter disguised as Lady Kira herself. Und jetzt hassen uns wieder alle. Wetten? Hä? Hä? Peace. I don't understand. I had heard the Lady Kira that has been in the news of late only hunted rebels. If so, why would she have killed the High Priest? Excellent question. Maybe it would help to think of it this way. What if the High Priest had secretly been a rebel? The High Priest? He couldn't possibly have been a rebel. Na, ich wusste es jetzt. Jetzt kommt der Hate. Ja, kommt, hatet mich. Haha. Ihr Spinner. The High Priest, a devout follower of Christianism, a rebel? Do you even comprehend the blasphemy of which you speak? Well, do you? I too found it hard to believe at first. But as I continued my investigation, it started to become more and more plausible. The third party was the rebel hunting Lady Kira, and the High Priest was a rebel? Your mockery of Kurainism. No. Of the kingdom of Kurain itself knows no bounds. Oops. That Jacob Boku, that lawyer! He's making a mockery of our religion! Ich sag das doch, jetzt haten mich wieder alle. As a faithful Kurainist, I take issue with these claims. And I am loath to admit them into today's proceedings. I don't like where this is going. The defense claims are but vile blasphemy tantamount to spitting on the Holy Mother. Is it really that big of a deal, Maya? Abatami was a distinguished monk, and very well respected too, so... yeah. Please don't let this turn into an international incident. Nein, bitte nicht! But fear not, good people of Kurain. The rantings of this putrid-brained lawyer who seeks to sully the soul of the deceased shall come to an avail once I conclude these last rites. Klatschen. Musik aus. The prosecution's assertion that the accused killed the victim remains unchanged. But the victim was stabbed in his abdomen. How is that possible when he had his back turned towards Miss Fay? Someone else must have killed him. Are you sure about that? You may have invalidated the seance, but do not let it go to your putrid heart. The karmic flow of this trial is as yet still in my hands. How can you be so confident? Something has occurred to me, you see. And your allegation of a third party are but a deluded fantasy. And I shall prove that by calling a new witness to the stand. An eyewitness who will deliver a definitive answer that will dispel the defense's doubts. An eyewitness? Very well. Let us call this eyewitness to the stand. Wer ist es? Oops. Es ist der Wookie! It's him again! Der Wookie! Well now, he has to be the shaggiest witness I have ever laid eyes on. Please state your name and occupation. Oh, you know, that's so and so. What should I call it? Anonymous TBD. At least that's what they've been calling me. TBD? As in, to be determined? Can't you just tell us your real name? The witness has suffered a blow to the head, rendering him amnesiac. Therefore, I named him Anonymous TBD in my report, but he thinks TBD is part of his name. Objection! You're letting an amnesiac testify? Have no fear. I have already questioned him at length. While it is true he has usually forgotten his name and past, his memory of what he witnessed is still very much intact. Considering the dearth of information, any new knowledge may be of help. Therefore, I will permit his testimony. Now, Mr. Immis, please tell us what you saw. Ich will ihn nicht Immis nennen. Der soll Mr. Wookie heißen, komm! Oder Mr. Baka von Chewbacca. Ich komme nicht darauf klar, dass er hier so ein bisschen wie ein Wookie aussieht. Guckt ihn euch an. Der ist so haarig. Und die Haare, der Haare und der Bart, die sehen so flauschig aus. Ich will sie anfassen. Ah. Na gut, bevor ich jetzt weiter ins Schwärmen komme über seine Haare und seinen Bart, beende ich jetzt mal den Part. Egal ob positiv oder negativ, Bewertung immer gern gesehen, das war's meinerseits und wir sehen uns das nächste Mal wieder. Sehr geil!